In the 1970s, it's been modified. The guy I bought it from was from the UP. I met him up in Crivets. He met me halfway. And he used it, he said, to dig his basement out. Underneath his house, he only had like a 4-foot crawl, and he was in some sand country, you know, light soil sand country, and he went underneath there and he cut the exhaust muffler there, and so he could get underneath the house. Away he went, you know. He said it worked awesome. He gets, you know, obviously it's been modified.
Yeah. Was that plow on it when you bought it?
Yeah, yeah, okay. That was what was on it.
Okay.
He added these truck rollers here. They're prone to for the tracks to come off, otherwise when you turn sharp. And he also changed this, put a heavier spring on there. Seems to work really good. Just dump a little waste oil on the tracks once in a while to keep them lubricated up, and there's a couple grease points here and there on it, and that's something cute. You know, he made it look like a Caterpillar.
Yeah.
And oil on the chains.
Is there a hitch on the back or no?
Yeah,
oh yeah,
little
spot for a hitch. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty cool.
It's you know, belt driven, tensioner just belt driven, but it works pretty good. It actually moves quite a bit of stuff for its size.
Oh yeah, have you tried that before? Or?
Yeah, I ran it over on the pile when I first got it. I pushed some stuff around with it. Guys use them for plowing their driveways and stuff. Just
really?
Farting around with them, you know, just as a toy. But they were actually built, you know, to do the job down in Cedarburg, Wisconsin, and the company is still in business. So,
is this a 5 horsepower, or is it a bigger engine in there?
I think it's a 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a 5 in this. It's got a different. See, when you get these, when you bought these, you could buy these where you totally. Now they come assembled because they're obviously they don't look like this anymore.
Yeah.
They're very upgraded, very expensive. But you can go ahead and these were a kit, and you'd buy this kit, and then you would take your snowblower engine and stick it in them. And they had they work good. I have other ones, and they just and you could buy attachments for them. There was different attachments. They had cedars and stuff that went on them. Lawnmower that went on the front, which is pretty rare find to have one with a lawnmower on the front. Not that I'd want to cut my grass with it, because I just can't imagine, you know, with tracks. But
and probably pretty slow.
Yeah, pretty slow. This 1969 struck, and this is one with a mower on the front. The belt goes through here. I haven't put it in yet.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yep, and then here you can see the drive line of it in here.
That's really cool.
Well, I did this one a year ago in the winter. This is an original machine. Came from over by Red Granite area. Granite, and drove it back here after we got done with it.
Did it have
a few little things to do to it?
Did it have the mower on it?
Yes, it had the mower on it. It had somebody butchered this big hole in here, and they had stands coming up because, I mean, let's be honest, the engine running the machine plus the mower, it didn't have a lot of power, he said, so they cut a big hole in here, and they had these stands coming up, and they had a 5-horse engine on top of it.
Okay.
They would start that, and then they would start this, but it wasn't original, so I put it back to original. And yeah, it's cool.
That's really cool.
Pretty sure it's a 69. It's hard to tell because Struck didn't have serial numbers because they were just kits.
Yeah.
They were incomplete kits, so.
That's really cool.
These are Lennox, made by Lennox Furnace Company. I have 4 Lennox track machines. 3 of them are 100% restored, the 3 in the front, and the one in the back is just a partial restore, but it was basically cleaned up, a little paint on it. They all run. I have all 3 versions of them, the snowblower, the mower, and the blade. I have mower decks for 3 of the machines, blades for all of them, and 1 snowblower. The snowblower was a very expensive option, so there weren't hardly any out there. They built 500 of them roughly total.
Wow.
And knowing to me, I'm the only one that knows to have 4 of them total. So, but
That's cool that you have all 3
yep, all
different
3
options
all
on
3
there.
options.
That is
They
crazy.
did have stuff you could pull behind them, like a cedar, a little blade or something. Maybe, I don't know on the Lennox if they had a little blade, but I know they had like a cedar, maybe a cultivator or something. The same with the Struck. The Struck was that way also. You could have a cultivator or something behind. In fact, there's the hitch laying on top of
Oh,
the
yeah, look at
machine
that,
in the
yeah.
back. That's the hitch for that one with a mower on it. To put a plow on the back. In fact, there's a plow somewhere's in there. They had really little plows, so. But very collectible.
So why did they only make 500 of these? Were they less desirable?
They
Or?
did not go over well.
Okay.
A good friend of mine out in Boston, he worked at the dealership that sold them. It was a lawn and garden dealership that sold them. And David worked there, and he said they were not practical at all. I mean, they were very high maintenance. I mean, to cut your lawn with something like that, with steel tracks,
Yeah.
even though the tracks were smooth, and no, they didn't go over well. They went over okay, he said, for the blade work,
Yeah.
but you know, that's pretty much so. They're just a toy.
Yeah.
And they produced them from 1963 and into 64, the best of my knowledge that he's shared with me. So,
Wow. Vinny, come on, let's go check out what we got. So here it is. The mini dozer. Early 1970s, this thing was built as a kit. Obviously the moose plow is aftermarket on it, but it did come with a plow. Vinny, what do you think, buddy? 5 horsepower. I don't know what kind of engine's in there. We'll have to get it in the garage and check it out. But you can see the steel track. You steer like a skid steer. Here's the throttle. I don't know what that's for. That was on off, I believe, right there. You gotta plug it in and start it right there, and then push to start. So let's see what's in here. Got our gas tank. I don't know what kind of engine's in here. Well, check out all the oil and all that stuff. But we'll start it up, and we'll get this thing unloaded. You can see this pulls up, pulls the plow up. I've always wondered how much power this thing has. See if it can move any dirt today. Hey. I think Vinny likes it. He got up in the seat. Vinny, what do you think? He's checking it out. Way for when you start it so it doesn't take off. Alright, we've got the throttle here. Throttle that up, and the choke is way down here on it. You can see the choke lever right there. So let's turn that all the way on. Alright, thing moves pretty good. We'll test it out a little bit later, but I want to kind of go through the whole thing. Like the guy said, he added these rollers right here so that the chain wouldn't fall off. They look really nice. And then high tension springs as well. It's a little bit stronger springs that originally came on it. You can see the tracks are pretty decent. Really heavy duty steel. You can see the rebar for the plow. I don't think this was original, but works pretty well. The steering's really smooth on it. We need to weld up one of these. That comes off. But yeah, pretty neat machine. But I want to quick check the oil, make sure there's oil in it. Everyone's probably curious as to what I paid for this thing. I paid quite a bit for it. I paid $18.50. There's a couple up right now for $4,000. There's one up for $25, so I think I paid a fair amount for it. So it's perfectly full. Looks good. Alright, that looks perfect. Alright, I feel like this thing should have a lot more power, because it's basically useless right now. It does not plow. It's pretty slow. I don't know if they're supposed to be like that, but it looks like the throttle cable is not going all the way up. So it doesn't look like it's idling very high. You can see the throttle cable taps out like really quick. So what I think I might do is move that cable up a little bit and see if it idles up a little bit higher. So I think this cable was too long. So when you did that, it wouldn't pull the throttle all the way up. So we're gonna cut that little piece out of there, which I already did. And we'll see if it revs up a little bit higher. So we took that little piece out of there. We'll see if that makes a difference. Alright, now it throttles up all the way. I also found a pull start on it. Right here. That's a lot better. Alright, that's more like it. We fixed that. Throttle's all the way up now. And it's doing pretty good, considering the size. The exhaust pipe is coming off, so we're going to quick weld this up. That's some pretty thin metal, but it's on there pretty good now. Let's fix the handle up here. Alright, that's fixed. Alright, this little seat comes out. Let's just take off the plate right here. So this is what it looks like on the inside. You can see the belt going to the pulley right here, and then as you pull the lever right here, you can see it tightens up that wheel and basically acts as a brake, and then only this one spins. So that's how you turn. Same with this one. Pretty cool design. Yeah, lots of pulleys. As long as these don't break, you're good to go. Are there any grease fittings we need to hit before we take it for a ride? I lubed up the chain here, so that's all good. I don't know if there are any grease fittings. You'd think there'd be some for the shaft right here. You can see there's some powder forming right there. Oh, that was my shoe. It was grinding into my shoe. That's what that was. See, everything looks really good. Belts look decent. So, we are all good to go. Let's go take this thing to the land. Alright, made it up to the land. Looks like the pipe broke off again. It's just thin metal that's holding that on, so we'll have to repair that with some piping. But yeah, let's see what she can do. Uh-oh, that was a bad idea. Track came off back here. Oh boy. How did we get that back on? That's not good. Yeah, we're gonna need a jack. We'll have to jack up the back end here and get that track to come over. I tried getting it back on, but it's gonna take a jack. The track right here is stuck in the sand, and you need to get that over there. I think you have to loosen the tension on the spring right there for this thing to work. So that's gonna end the video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the little video on this thing. It hauled dirt pretty good. I'm really surprised, being 5 horsepower, what this thing can do. It's not bad. It would take me a while to make a track, but it's definitely doable. Cool little machine. You don't see these very often. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video, and until next time, we are out.